We are less than 30 minutes away from Progress Chapter 182. Stay humble. Comes to you live from the iconic Electric Ballroom in Camden and brought to you by BYD, New South Day, part of the Alan Day Motor Group.
Yes. And obviously you can watch all the action live on Triller TV and right here on Demand Progress Plus.
Oh, yeah. And anyway, shout out to Crooked Tongue. Obviously, their song Let 'Em Loose, the official song of Chapter 182.
What a bop.
Banger.
What a banger.
What a banger.
But speaking of bangers, Carl, we have an incredible lineup in store, including main event as Rhio, the women's champion, once again wants to prove herself against the best in the business. She's going to be facing Rayne Leverkusen and Kanji in triple threat action.
Absolutely. And we have Luke Jacobs, man like Dereiss, face to face in the middle of that ring. Obviously, the 2025 Super Strong Style 16 winner has got his number one. Well, he's got his title shot, hasn't he?
He has.
But the man in his way, Progress World Champion Luke Jacobs.
Got his title shot. Has Luke got his number?
Well, the last 4 times they faced off in singles competition, he has. So I think Dereiss could want to prove himself. But this is a face-to-face, and in Progress style, we know how they turn out. Indeed. Absolute chaos, usually. But we also have the fantastic Jerry Bakewell. He will be there. He will be hosting this whole thing like the madman that he is.
Exactly. Always amazing when he's there.
He is. So let's talk about the card then, shall we? What do we have in store? So, Charlie Sterling, Cara Noir. Obviously, Charlie was on. He was on Stories of Progress, wasn't he?
Yeah. Friend of the show,
Friend of the show. If you haven't checked that out yet, make sure you check that out. But
on Demand Progress Plus.
Well, that's right. But yeah, so obviously it's a fascinating one, this one.
Yes, it really is.
Charlie Sterling's only ever been defeated twice in singles competition his entire Progress career. One of the men to do that, Cara Noir. Yeah. So, that's going to be interesting in itself. Obviously, Cara coming off that second loss to Luke Jacobs in Manchester. We were there, and it was a hell of a match. And I'm sure Cara's going to be looking to, make...
Yeah, I mean, like you say, that was a hell of a match. It was honestly, there was just so many moments in there where you just weren't sure if he was going to get it. Neither of them wanted to back down, and Cara took it, and that just shows you the determination of Cara, doesn't it? So
absolutely,
it's we know this is going to be a tough match. That being said, I am curious about fan reaction as well. Sterling, we saw it again when we saw him go up against RPD.
Yeah,
that the fans were not behind Sterling, and I think he's very much not a fan of the fans as well. Let's say at the minute. So are we going to have the fans very much behind Cara here? And is that going to affect his mentality going into the match?
Honestly, it's the unknown, I think, at this point. I don't know which way this is going to go. I think Charlie was on an absolute tear in Super Strong Style. We saw, obviously, big fan of RPD, but we saw Charlie basically just kind of wipe the floor with him a little bit in the last one. So
I felt like he was proving a point.
Exactly. So I think both these guys have got something to prove. I think for me, if I was to back my horse in this one, not just because he's just come on the show, I'm going Charlie Sterling because, honestly, not because of that. I think, since the Smoking Aces broke up, he's had a point to prove about singles competition, and I think, Cara Noir, I think he might be in his own head a little bit after both of those losses to Luke Jacobs. Yeah. So, I think Charlie might just edge this one.
Okay.
How about you?
I mean, if we're going prediction style here, Carl, I'm gonna back Cara, and not just to be contrarian to you, is that and it actually comes off that match with Luke Jacobs, because I do think similarly he's got a point to prove off that loss, but also you could see like he just didn't want to take that loss. Basically, you know what I mean?
Who does?
No one does. But the determination and like what you saw in that match is like he's not going to be an easy number. No. And I think Charlie knows that, but I do think I think Cara, I don't think he's gonna go out on this one. I think he's gonna take the win.
Okay, so we've already started off conflicting views.
Always,
which is what we love.
Always.
We don't like things to be predictable, do we? Which this one's certainly no idea which way it's going to go. We also have another interesting matchup because Adam Maxted, he's decided he doesn't care about the fans anymore.
That's fair.
He's in this for himself and nobody else. Conversely, Tate Mayfair's, he's decided he does care about the fans because he can't do it by himself. And he needs the fans.
Adam Maxted did care about the fans at one point?
Apparently so.
Okay.
I thought he only cared about himself. Beautiful, beautiful face. But yeah, like, obviously, fresh off the Battle Royal in Manchester, Maxted, he had a good show and didn't come out away from the win.
Yeah.
And we've not seen Tate since Super Strong Style, so I think he's got, something to prove there. The last kind of last time we heard from him, he was basically saying that he can't do it alone, and he's changed and he needs the fans on his side. So this is going to be an interesting one. Obviously,
it's an interesting statement, isn't it, to say he needs the fans on his side? Is like if he doesn't get that fan backing, and I think his chances are good because he's going up against Maxted. But if he doesn't get that fan backing, is that going to affect his performance in the match?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah,
you've got two guys who have very changed attitudes, and obviously that could change how they are in the ring and everything, couldn't it? So, ultimately, what's it going to be? Is Tateness going to be greatness, or is Adam Maxted going to dump him from the island?
Nice, boss little. I love the references.
Full of puns.
I mean, for me, I think I think the fans are going to be there for him, and I think Tate's going to take the win here.
Damn. Okay. Do you know what? I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. Yeah. I think
that's what we do.
I know, right? It's strange. I was very impressed with Adam Maxted. The first time I saw him was at the Manchester show. I was thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, 100%.
I just think Tate now, he's maybe turned a bit of a corner, and maybe he's realised that Tateness may be greatness, but he can't do it alone. So if he can get them fans on side, and to your point, against Adam Maxted, should be pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting as well because he's, it's a lesson for Maxted if he's willing to accept it as well, isn't it? Like Tate's learns he can't do it alone. Maxted's learning the opposite at the minute, as you rightly said. They're very different mentalities, and we need the win for that mindset shift, don't we? Surely.
Wow. That's it. Like as you say, it could all go wrong here because he's hoping that the fans may listen to him, get on his side, but if they don't, is that just going to make things worse for Tate?
The question.
It is the question.
There's fan involvement to it, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let us know on Demand Progress Plus. You're going to be getting behind Tate. I'm sure we'll see very soon whether they do or not. But
indeed,
yeah, interesting one to say the least. Now, a new addition to the card, Anthony. Okay. So we know that G Money and Will Cruz is going to be taking place at a later date.
Yep.
What we do have, though, Moth Dog representation here because Session Moth is going to be taking on Lana Austin. So nice little.
I mean, the minute you mention Lana, I know where you're going to head with this as well.
It's where
you are a big Lally fan, aren't you?
You gotta love Lally.
Yeah, of course. I'm not denying that, Carl.
Everybody loves Lally.
You're Team Lally, though.
Absolutely.
Not to jump at your prediction here, but you're Team Lally.
You've got to be Team Lally. Look, we have been on an absolute roller coaster with Lana Austin and Hollie Barlow. We know Hollie Barlow is going to be in the ballroom.
Yep.
So you can only assume we are going to see her involved in this match in some way.
The question is, and I'm not saying it's intentional, but I had these fears in Manchester as well.
Okay.
Is the Hollie involvement going to be a detriment rather than a boon to the match?
I think that's up to Lana Austin, is what I think, because
Lana's we know she's still not embracing Hollie.
I think she was the author of her own downfall a little bit in the Manchester show because Hollie was just there to support her. She came out with the sign, she was just cheerleading her best friend, just wanting her to win the match. And, Lana just couldn't seem to let that go. So if she can just accept it, that Hollie, is there to support her, then I'm sure everything will be fine.
But in any case, it's a distraction. And, Moth isn't someone you can really be distracted by.
Not at all, to be fair.
Distracted from, sorry, not by.
Yeah, fair. But
you know what?
You can't take your eyes off.
She's going to bring it to Lana, and she doesn't want to take her eye off the prize there.
No.
Could that be a problem?
Do you know what? I think it's a possibility, shall we say? But we saw how Lana reacted after obviously she took the loss to Kanji because she got distracted, and then when Hollie had her match with Alexis Falcon, Lana wasn't happy and came down, kind of, started messing things up there. So we don't know what Lana's mindset is at this point as well.
True.
And we saw there was still a bit of beef between Lana and Rhio. So I think in Lana's mind, she probably wants to get back at the women's world title. So there's probably a lot going on for Lana right now. But I'm telling you, right? Just embrace it. Embrace the Lally movement. It's all she needs to do. It is. And so for that reason, when it comes to me predicting the outcome of this one, I firmly believe that if Lana Austin can just accept the friendship of Hollie Barlow, then she can pull off the win in this one.
That's not quite a prediction, though, because you put an if in there. Who's taking the win? Do you think this is going to happen?
Up to Lana. That's all I'm saying.
Non-committal.
Look, I'm
going to call it then. Session Moth is going to take this because Lana's going to get distracted.
I could never knock back Lally. Do you know what I mean? I am Lally forever. So, look, it is what it is. I've got to back Lana, and I'm hoping that this is the time Lana Austin will finally accept Hollie Barlow's friendship. What we all want, what we all need, and this could be the day.
You're going to go full out snow there.
Maybe that too. So yeah, I'm going to go Lana.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Session Moth.
Okay. We also have another fine match, and boy, this one is going to be a doozy.
Not that this is particularly important in the overall overarching card, but is this the only match where we've interviewed both of them?
Do you know
it might be.
I think you're onto something there.
So we've got. I'm only plugging Stories of Progress, obviously,
of course,
but also we have a bit of a deeper insight. Having spoke to both of them.
This is you think we've got to pick a favourite.
I think you have to pick.
See, why are you doing this to me, man?
I'm sorry.
Do you know what though? This has been brewing for the longest time.
Well, right? Simon Miller was one of the first people we spoke to, and it was heading into his Proteus match with Crowley.
Yeah,
and the beef is still here.
The beef is still here.
Right.
Crowley totally obviously misted Simon in the face, ultimately cost him.
A missed opportunity, you might say.
Ultimately caused him to lose the Proteus title, really, if you're being honest.
Yep.
And then, we've seen in Manchester these guys as part of that four-way scramble, and Crowley's the one who comes out on top. So Simon Miller has got to be furious.
Yeah.
Because in his mind, he's the reason he lost the Proteus championship. And now here he is, earning his way potentially to a title shot before the guy who lost it.
Yeah. But the question is, though, is Simon going to be able to make his point here? Is he be able to even satisfy that frustration, that annoyance that's been caused? Or is Crowley going to pull some tricks out of the bag and just piss him off even further? Because I know what my guess is.
Well, this whole thing is a bit of an unknown to a degree. Obviously, when they fought last time, it was a, WWE Finisher Rules match.
Yes.
So, you kind of have to adjust your game plan a bit, I guess, in order to try and come away from with the win in that one. But here, it is just these two straight up, bit of hatred there.
Yeah.
And there's no stipulation that's kind of forcing them to do anything one way or the other. So
yeah, that's true. And I never considered that, but there was, like you say, that's a somewhat of a restrictive element last time they fought, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's a good point. But this means, like, I think Simon might be coming into this, and don't be wrong, Simon's he's quite a happy guy generally, but he's coming into this to do some damage, and he's a man who's capable of doing some damage, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
Like you say, without any stipulations or restrictions, he just wants to batter the guy, doesn't he?
Indeed. So. And obviously this is for the Proteus Championship, and eagle-eyed amongst us may have seen Paul Walter Hauser at the blue carpets world premiere of Fantastic Four, displaying the Proteus Championship with pride, which, great to see.
It's just awesome. This guy's in, he's in the Naked Gun film, he's in Fantastic Four, and he's rocking that title.
And he's here in progress.
Rightly so as well.
Yes. And I bring up Paul, obviously, not only because he's the champion, but, Mr. Crowley also makes an appearance.
Yeah, Paul's not the only movie star here.
Well, according to Crowley, he believes that his 5-second performance was flawless. Therefore, he believes that he's already bested Paul Walter Hauser in his world.
I'm going to have Crowley's back on this one. What flaw did you find?
I mean, to be fair,
he's not wrong.
We can't argue with the guy.
Strictly speaking, he's not wrong.
Then again, you're saying you found any flaws with Paul Walter Hauser? Because his performance was pretty great.
That's true. To be fair, I was able to catch Crowley's clip in its entirety on the internet. I've yet to see Fantastic Four, so I'll probably have to hold that judgment on Paul Walter Hauser.
Okay.
But because we have that information, we know that Crowley's performance was top notch.
Yes, we do.
You can't pick fault with it, can you?
We can't. But we do know, obviously, this match is a number one contenders match. So whoever wins this will be going up against Paul Walter Hauser. I believe at the next show, 100 Volts. So obviously,
I mean, I suppose outside of this, we'll have to make our predictions. But who do you think is the stronger opponent for Paul Walter Hauser?
well, this is the difficult thing because I don't know.
Well, hear me
A
out here.
tougher opponent.
Hear me out here.
Go on.
Right? I actually think the tougher opponent for Paul could potentially be Crowley, because Paul is, I think it's fair to say, new to the wrestling game, and he understands it in its purity, let's say. And Crowley is not averse to pulling out some tricks here and there.
Well, the mist.
And exactly. So I don't know if Paul's ready for those sort of deceptions and those elements that throw you off. Whereas I think you'll get a more straight up and is honourable the right word match for him and Simon. So
well,
I think Crowley might actually have his number.
Are you proposing that Charles Crowley may use some underhanded tactics here?
I would never suggest that.
This is kind of the part that we have to choose. You may make me choose.
Yes.
Can't choose.
Well, I'll help you. I'm going to say Crowley, and I'm going to say it's through tactics such as the mist.
Okay. Do you know what? I would love it to be Crowley because I think you make a compelling point. I do think that a match between Crowley and Paul Walter Hauser would just be full of the unknown.
Yeah.
Like as you say, if it's Simon and Paul Walter Hauser, you're getting a straight up like honourable. Who's the better man?
Yeah.
With Crowley, he doesn't care.
Paul has never been to Crowley's carnival.
He has not,
and it's an experience. So,
but you want to know my answer?
Go on.
Why? Here's why.
Hey, nice.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm gonna go Crowley.
Okay. Sorry, Simon.
Yeah.
You are awesome, by the way. We're not like.
Yeah, we do love you. I just think there's going to be some underhanded tactics in this one. Whether it's the mist again, whether I think Crowley will do.
Mist again.
I think he will do whatever he can to get that title shot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think unless Simon Miller does something really out of the ordinary and just snaps, I think.
I mean, he might be on the edge of it though.
I mean, you can't blame the guy.
Yeah. Well, that's probably one factor we haven't considered. He might just snap.
It's possible. It is possible.
Again, one to watch, and we have not got long either. We'll be able to watch it very fucking soon. So love it.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to end up saying this with all the matches, but like this might be my match of the night. I don't know. Yeah.
But that's a great thing to say about a card, isn't it?
Well, exactly.
There's so many here that could be your match of the night.
Exactly.
And I totally get why.
We've still got more to come as well. Yeah. And one of those matches is, of course, for the Atlas title. But for our Demand Progress Plus viewers, why don't you check out the best of Atlas on Demand Progress Plus? Yeah, the Atlas title, it's definitely another major kind of title within the company. And this match has been brewing for a very long time.
Indeed,
obviously, this rematch, because we did see these guys, obviously, at Chapter 169 in what could have been match of the night candidate. Only this time, it's all about the tables. So that adds another element.
Tables. Massive dudes and tables.
Well, that's it.
I hope somebody's been to IKEA because we're going to need some new tables.
And, this match has been building for ages because this rematch was meant to happen in Vegas. And obviously, Axel Tischer couldn't make the show. So obviously, it's now been delayed up to today, which is great, though, because we get to see it now, which is awesome.
And obviously, for another shameless plug, we've spoke with Axel Tischer before now, haven't we?
We have. And Axel is a great guy.
He is. He truly is.
But, Mike D, he did go to Vegas and he did face Kubo, and he obliterated him.
Yeah.
Basically, he sent a message, and
that's, he couldn't come there, he couldn't make it to Vegas, so let's send him a little message. And what a message he fucking sent.
absolutely.
Oh, you're right there.
So obviously we've got that element of it all as well. But the big factor in this one, I think, is the tables.
Yes, 100%.
Because it takes one misstep, literally.
As we've seen it in the past, haven't we? Yeah.
So if it just takes one mistake, or one missed opportunity, or one time where you think you're going to move and you don't, and it's game over. So
exactly,
you don't have to be down for the count. You just have to go through a table. And
100%.
Guys this size are going to go through some tables.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. It's going to be a brutal match and unpredictable, as you say, for that very reason. This isn't a pinfall kind of victory, and that is a totally different game. So yeah, I mean, I typically would have my money on Axel, to be honest with you, but in this sort of game,
well, that's it. If you go based on history, then Axel proved that he could get the job done when it was just a normal match. But just this table stipulation, it makes me fear for Axel, because you know what I mean. Like Mike D can throw you across the ring, 100%. And Axel's a big guy, and he's going to get thrown. So if he just happens to land on the table, it's game over.
Exactly.
So that's
so it's going to be a tough one to call, but I'm going to ask you to try and call it, Carl. Who are you putting your money on for this card?
Do we do the bias thing again? To be like, oh well, obviously we've had Axel on the show.
I mean, you can go for bias if you want.
Do you know what though? I'm gonna go rogue. I'm gonna give it to Mike D. I just think he's had to wait for this rematch. Obviously, Tischer couldn't make the Vegas cards. Mike D's had a replacement. Powered through him, and he's probably at the point now where he's thinking, "I'm ready for this. I've been stewing on this for a long time." So I think he's gonna, play smart, and Axel might be going through a table.
Yeah. No, I'll agree with you on it. I think he's ready to serve him some stew, as you say. No, I think he's already proved a point at Vegas, but he's ready, and I do think sadly he might have Axel's number tonight.
Okay, so we think there's going to be a title change coming today.
We're going to get a title change here.
Okay. We also have the face-to-face.
Face-to-face.
Dereiss Luke Jacobs. We saw in Manchester at the last chapter, after Luke Jacobs went through a hellacious match with Cara Noir, man like Dereiss came out and got right in his face, and it almost all kicked off then.
Yes.
So now it's literally, they've had time to stew on that.
Yeah.
They're not immediately, both having fought that night. So are we going to see some fighting in the ring?
I think you can. To be honest, and this is no disrespect to Luke when I say it like this, but this is Dereiss's area. This is his zone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he's not going to get under Luke's skin.
It's true.
These guys have got history anyway. Got quite a bit of history, and I think the 0-1-2-1's going to get under his skin, and I think Luke's going to throw some fists. I don't think there's any two ways about it.
Yeah. Do you know what though? I wouldn't be surprised if it was kind of the other way around a little bit. Like, obviously we spoke to Leon Slater recently, who, congratulations, obviously progress, now X Division champion. But when we spoke to Leon, he said obviously Dereiss is kind of getting this rep as the nearly man of progress. He gets close to title opportunities, and when he gets them, he doesn't manage to bring home the big one. So I think we could see Luke Jacobs maybe play on that a little bit and try and get under Dereiss's skin. The fact is, the 4 times these have faced each other singles competition, Luke Jacobs has had his number.
Yeah, and it's not something to be forgotten or to be sort of sniffed at.
And it's hard to live down. You know what I mean?
100%.
But in fairness to Dereiss, he certainly didn't choke when it was a Super Strong Style 16.
He didn't,
because he.
Do you think, with what you're saying though, do you think we're going to get a bit of a different energy from Dereiss tonight? Then I keep saying tonight. Sorry, like it's because I'm an old man and I'm going to go to bed.
He's going to bed in a minute.
But yeah, do you think we're going to see a sort of a different energy out of Dereiss here? A little less playful, a little bit more serious with a point to prove kind of thing.
I think maybe. I think he knows that this is his chance, and these chances don't come along often. And if he's, squandered them in the past, and he's getting this rep, he needs to, live that down and basically prove people wrong. I think this could be the time.
But that being said, I don't think he's going to forget the fans, as it were. He knows his fans. He knows what his fans want, and he will interact with those fans. He has a good appreciation. Not that Luke doesn't, but he has a good appreciation for the audience. I don't think he's going to miss his opportunity to interact. but obviously the aim here is face to face, and I'm curious to see how it's going to go. But I think you're right. I don't think there's any two ways about this.
I also wouldn't count out our friend Ethan Allen trying to help his tag team partner.
Still some beef there. We did try to ask a little bit about. Well, you did try to ask a little bit about that.
Didn't go well.
Yeah, it did not go well. So I think there's still some grudge. Yeah,
there's
a bit of a grudge there.
Yeah, but this is going to be insane, and this could change the whole direction of the match itself. And
obviously, there's no prediction to be had here other than it's going to kick off, because I don't even think that's a prediction. I think this is going to kick off, and it's going to be so unpredictable. And
absolutely.
Cannot wait to see.
Indeed. And the main event, Anthony, the women main eventing the show.
Before we go into main events, Carl.
Yeah.
We're talking women's wrestling here.
Oh, yeah.
And progress along. Well, the British wrestling scene for women's wrestling is amazing. And I think we can maybe do a little bit of a hype package here.
Well, let's roll the tape, shall we?
Okay, why not?
This one goes out to all the invisible, indivisible superhero types rocking the mic. All the first evers, has-beens, and never words. Let's get it. All the ladies in the house, I'm proud of y'all. When you pick up the mic, you rip it raw. No apologies while you standing tall. Wish that dirt off your shoulder when you fall. Underestimated, but you got it all. Oppressed by Neanderthal, but you rise 'cause they minds are small. Girl, you wanna make it after all.
So, make sure you check that out on
Indeed,
Plus,
yeah.
because you can just see, the women's card, like the women's roster, in progress is just stacked. You know what I mean? And obviously, respect to Rhio. So obviously, Nina Samuels and Kanji were meant to have the loser leaves progress match here. Nina, unfortunately, is hurt. That match has had to be pushed back. And you know what? Rhio could have quite happily, had an already tough test in Rayne Leverkusen, but instead she goes, you know what, Kanji, bring it on. Let's make this a triple threat match.
Yeah, she could have let Kanji have the night off, but she's like, no.
Well, that's
you're coming to work.
You know what?
I've been mulling over this, and there's nothing but sort of respect for this approach from Rhio, because I was like, not that I'm expecting it from Rhio. She's again guest of the show, fellow Northerner, nothing but respect, right? But I'm like, is there any angle here that gives her a benefit? And I'm like, do you know what? There really isn't, is there? Because it just adds more risk. So there's no reason to this other than being a fighting champion.
Well, that's it.
So hats off to her, because this just adds danger to her. Yeah. And her title.
But when she came on Stories of Progress, she said that she's going to win the belt back, which she's done, and she doesn't want to be a champion like Nina Samuels. You know what I mean? She wants to prove that she's the best in the world, certainly the best in this division.
So not only is she going to take on her opponent, she's going to take on Nina's opponent as well.
Because why the hell not? Because that's how Rhio rolls,
Indeed.
But look, like, this is going to be, firstly, worthy main event.
Yep.
Like, this is going to absolutely slap. Rayne Leverkusen has just been immense. So she was a tough enough test as it was. But, we've seen Kanji. We've seen her just, defeat Lana Austin in the last chapter.
Yep.
We've seen, obviously, how much she was ready to retire Nina Samuels. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I love you, Rhio, but you may have stacked the deck a little bit too high here.
Unfortunately.
But you know what? I need to back our girl. I think Rio's got enough to still bring it home. I think that she has rightfully reclaimed that championship. I don't think she's letting it slip out of her fingers anytime soon.
Yeah, I'd actually agree with you. We've probably been too agreeable in this pre-show, but I'd actually agree with you. I think Rhio. I don't think she's daft. I think she knows what she's doing. It's going to be a tough match, but she's not scared of a tough match. Both her opponents are absolute badasses, but I think Rio's gonna retain her title, and I think she's confident in that.
Hell to the yeah. But yeah, like it's time. It is time. The pre-show.
Can we do like a thing? Like, let's kick off the show.
Yeah.
Anything like that?
We don't know what that's going to be yet. But we cannot wait for what's about to come up. And let's make some progress.